and welcome back to another episode of Spark TV. I am your host, Danielle Lewis, the CEO and founder here at Spark Business. And I wanted to share a story with you today in the hope that it makes you or helps you think twice before you do this thing. So over the break, we received a message in our Spark members Slack channel. So we use Slack for our communications. If you want to share an offer with other members, ask a problem, share a challenge, celebrate a win, whatever it might be, we use Slack. So anyway, we had one of our Spark members share a story about a thing that happened in their business. And I'm not going to disclose what it was because it's left them feeling pretty disheartened and like that they are ready to basically throw in the towel and give up their business, which is, might be the right thing for them, but it might also be a little sad depending on what happens, right? But a similar thing has happened to me. So what I thought I would do is I will share my story because I'm okay disclosing it so that perhaps we can all learn the lesson. So some of you might know my other business, Scrunch, has been around for about 12 years now, influencer marketing software platform and digital marketing agency. And so we run influencer marketing campaigns for brands, nothing too crazy there. But, when we first went into business, I'd never run a business before. I had a corporate career, so I was learning everything just like you do. And I don't know, at the beginning, I felt funny invoicing people, felt funny contracting people. And it took me a little while to learn that is expected. And obviously the higher caliber business you work with, the more they expect that, and it's almost baked into their processes as well that you would invoice them, contract them, go through that whole process. They'll have a vendor onboarding process, all that kind of good stuff. So, big businesses expect that. But for some reason, sometimes when you go into business, we kind of feel a bit icky about doing it. Anyway, I learned very quickly that having contracts in place was a really good idea. Having terms set out and agreed upon was a really good idea. And that invoicing people ASAP to get paid on time was a really good idea. Not that everyone pays you on time, and that's another podcast episode. However, anyway, so got really good at that. Happy days. And we were approached by a very big, well-known brand out of the Middle East, and they wanted to engage our influencer marketing services to run an influencer campaign. It was a big fashion brand actually, and it was a lot of money. And so we were really excited. It's when you get these big deals, you think, oh my God, this is going to take our business to the next level. We're kind of leveling up. We're doing new amazing things. Profit's going to mean we can do X, Y, Z. So very cool. We're all very excited. And so we completed the first part of the campaign. The customer paid their first part of their invoice. So kind of happy days. But after that first invoice was paid, and I guess they had established that they were going to do the right thing with us, we broke one of our rules, and I guess because we trusted them now because they'd followed our process, they'd paid our invoice, we were going, cool, they're above board, everything is all good. But we broke one of our rules, and one of our rules was to be paid in advance for the work we were doing. And the reason why that was really important in our business model was because we essentially would make commitments to influencers that we would pay them for their work, obviously. And then we didn't want to run into the trouble if a customer didn't pay us, that we would be left footing the bill for these influencers that we had engaged on their behalf, because essentially we were the middleman. So someone would say, can you go find the influencers, negotiate with them, contract them, get them to do their thing, pay them, like full end-to-end service. So we would go out and be that person to the influencers. So, we didn't want to get into the situation where a brand then didn't pay us and we were on the hook for all of the money of that campaign to these influencers. Anyway, that's exactly what happened. So for part 2 of the campaign, we wanted to keep showing the value and doing great work because we wanted the campaign to keep going. We wanted part 3, part 4, part 5. And we went out, we engaged the next set of influencers. They started completing the content and the customer went MIA. So the customer didn't pay the next tranche of invoice and was, I guess, one of those types that didn't really give a shit. To be honest, we talked about how those influencers needed to be paid. We talked about how, we really couldn't, I guess, cover them, and they were such a large business we shouldn't have to. Ghosted, didn't care. We engaged a debt collector even in their local country and just, didn't respond to calls, emails, just literally so look, to be honest, we got to the point where it was wasting more of our time, but it cost us a lot of money. It was a really expensive lesson to learn. We obviously had to pay out all of those influencers, and because obviously we wanted to work with them again for other campaigns, and it really hurt our business at that time. A deal we thought that was going to be huge, that would actually leapfrog us forward, actually set us back because we were on the hook for those costs. So a really unfortunate situation. But I guess the lesson that we took for it, and the lesson that I'd love you to take from it, is that, trust your gut. You have processes and rules in place inside your business for a reason. You didn't just make them up because you love rules. You made them up because they are going to serve you as a business owner. They're going to mean that you can put your best foot forward for your customer, that you can deliver without a risk of anything going wrong, that everyone who needs to get paid gets paid, all of the things. So don't break your own rules. That's the lesson. Don't break your own rules. You always know when you're about to break your own rules. You always have that pit in your stomach, that feeling of, oh, I really shouldn't be doing this. I know this is the wrong thing to do. And you try and justify it by, oh, but they're a really big customer. Oh, I don't want to piss them off. Oh, I want that big logo. Oh, if we can prove our worth here, they'll come back for another big deal. Like, you rationalize it to yourself, but you always know when you're breaking your own rules, and you always know when it's a bad idea. And I'd love for that story to be the lesson, not to do that in 2025. Anyway, thanks for being here. Thanks for showing up for yourself in business, and can't wait to chat to you again in the next episode.